Alright, here we are in Arco, Idaho. We're nestled here at the base of the mountains. The little town of Arco has about 900. And we're at the Arco KOA. It's nice enough. What did you lost?
My tooth.
Which one?
Twice.
Which one? That one?
And I lost it twice.
Lost it twice? What happened the first time?
It fell out of his mouth and then he lost it. It's on the ground.
Lost it out of his pocket?
Yep.
Alright. Well, go see if you can find it. Heading back to the playground to find the lost tooth.
Let's go see what's over there.
This.
Well, let's just at least climb to the top of this.
Yeah.
So here we are at Craters of the Moon National Monument. It's Tuesday, July 8th. And as far as you can see, lots of lava. Lava rock.
This rock has a bunch of purple and blue streaks in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool.
Very cool.
And that looks cool out there too.
Yeah.
They're monoliths.
How did they not get carried away in the wind?
Hang on to the bush for dear life.
I know, but when they fly.
Well, that one looks like he did just get kind of carried off.
Oh, this is a no. This one leads to it.
You can see all the...
How heavy is that, Sam?
A couple pounds.
Wow.
Probably about 5 pounds.
It's like mostly made of air.
Oh, another hole.
Are you stuck?
No, I touched the end. Lucas, I touched the end of it. How many ounces of that? Great! Oh, a cherry! You're gonna get great! Great! You're gonna get great! Oh, cherry! Brian, what's the score? 3 snow cones! A lot of Whoa! What? You can see the bottom, but guess what?
What?
It echoes a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
And you can't see the end.
I've got cave guides here. If we're going to go into one tunnel today, if you guys feel like branching off on your own later, these are good to take with you. They're 50 cents a piece. Or you can just take it with you and drop it off on your way out, and then it's free. So feel free to do that. So while we're standing here, what is something you guys notice? A lot of lava, right? Look at all this blackness. And how did this lava get here? By volcanoes. And where did the volcanoes come from? Underground. Well, we have something in our park that a lot of places that have volcanoes don't have. We have a rift. And basically the plates underneath our feet, the crust is pulling apart And that is allowing magma to upwell from underneath and leak out at times. And these aren't violent eruptions. They're pretty gentle and effusive and spread out over the land. And I want the 4 boys to come up here with me. Come up here. Oh, you don't have to if you don't want to. And everybody else, I want you to stand on either side of the path. So, like Moses parting the Red Sea. Stand on either side. Okay, we're going to be lava. Can you handle that? Okay. So what happens as lava travels away from the source, this lava actually came from the spatter cones. Have you guys seen those yet today? Mm-hmm. Can you see them from here? No. And these flows actually make it all the way down to the Arco airport. Wow. How did that happen? Well, as the lava travels, the outsides of the flow cool and they form, you guys, lava levees. So we're going to be the lava. Let's go slowly through. So as the lava goes through, it starts to cool on the top. Put your arms up. Everybody put your arms up. Over. All right, we'll go fast now. We're insulated. We can go fast.
That's a lot.
Good job, lava. Lava 5, lava 5. Lava 5. Okay, so what my lava friends have just shown us here is that because the lava tubes form and enclose the top, it's insulated and it keeps that lava hot and it keeps that lava liquid. So that's how we've gotten our flows here. Now, other side. Okay, I need 2 volunteers. You, I'm going to let you stand off the trail. What? Get a little bit deeper in there. Go stand on that gravel right there. Perfect. And I need another volunteer. I want you to stand, sir, can you? Yeah, thank you. Stand right there. Good. All right, now, we got 2 seeds. These are our baby plants, and they need to grow. What's one thing plants need to grow?
Water.
Water. So, which one of these 2 seeds is going to get more water? The guy on the surface or the guy down in the crack?
Down in the crack.
Why?
Water goes down.
Sure, but doesn't water hit the surface too?
Yeah. Like it'll hit the surface and then go down.
Exactly. And we'll talk about that more later, but what did you just say?
It evaporates.
This is extremely windy out here. Idaho is always windy and it's very dry. So any water that's left on the surface will evaporate. But the water can stay in our cracks because it's cooler and it's protected from wind. So what's something else that plants need to grow?
Sun.
Sunlight. Which one of these guys is going to have more sun?
That one.
Right, he is going to have more. But is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Good thing.
Well, I'll tell you this. Our lava flows, the temperature has been recorded up to 178 degrees Fahrenheit. So unless you like your seeds roasted, it may not be so good for him. So once again, we have a check for Crackplant right here. Wait, that doesn't sound so good.
No, that fits. That name fits.
And what's the third thing that plants need to grow?
Soil.
Soil. The ground. We got a lot of that?
Yeah.
No, our volcanics do not break down like you would see in Hawaii. We're not a humid climate. It takes water to break these rocks down into soil. Most of the soil we get comes from the mountains over there, and it takes almost 1,000 years for it to build up here. So which one of these 2 seeds is actually going to have more soil? Crackplant, right?
Yeah.
These cracks collect the soil. So it looks like, sorry, you're dead. Right? And if you look around, especially right behind you, you have life that is utilizing every nook and cranny. And you have plants that are utilizing those.
Okay.
Good job.
Oh no, I'm a cone. I'm only a tree mold.
Tree molds don't grow. And there's also something else here that utilizes our cracks. I asked them to change the motto of Craters of the Moon to come to Craters of the Moon, check out our cracks, but they decided not to go for that. We have a little critter here called a pika. And pikas actually live usually above 8,500 feet in elevation. But they live here. Why? Because our cracks are cool. I tried to get them to accept that slogan, come to Craters of the Moon, our cracks are cool, still wouldn't go for it. And in fact, if you go up into some of the caves that we're not going to go into on this tour, there may still be ice in some of them. Our cracks are cool at Craters of the Moon. And that's not all the life that we'll find here, utilizing this black hostile lava. We'll see that as we go. Come on up, guys. But what is that stuff?
Fungus?
Almost.
It's a lichen.
That's right.
It's a lichen. And a lichen is made of 2 things. And there's a limerick that we use to remember what it's made of.
Hey, bud.
And it goes like this. Alice Algae took a liking to Freddy Fungus, and their relationship has been on the rocks ever since. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we have lichen living on this black desolation. And this black desolation was created by a geologic process called a collapse. And there are two types of collapses. And geologists get a little crazy when they name things. This is a cold collapse. This was formed after the lava tube that's underneath our feet right now emptied out, had a couple seasons to cool off. You had thermal contraction and expansion, and the roof caved in. So if this is a cold collapse, what do you think the other one's called? A hot collapse. Very, very specific. And the park was nice enough to put one right over here. It's more, instead of being formed after the lava tube had emptied out, it was formed very shortly after the lava tube emptied, and it was still a little bit warm. So the roof of it just kind of sagged in like a souffle or a plate of brownies. And in fact, to me, this looks like the world's largest plate of brownies. Please do not eat it. It does not digest well. So we're going to come across one more life form that uses our parks and actually can live on this lava. I want you to start thinking about what that one's going to be on the way. What's the other life form? Come on, somebody's got it.
Fungus?
Nope. Humans. These are Shoshone tribal rings. They were put here, hence the name, by the Shoshone Indians over 2,000 years ago. And we're still not sure what exactly they were used for. They could have been used for something ceremonial or ritualistic. They could have been used to outline the bottom of their teepees to block the wind. And another popular theory is that, as you'll see when we get into Indian Tunnel has 3 skylights. So perhaps these 3 rings, there's one further back, these 3 rings were telling any future Indians that, hey, you might want to watch out for these 3 giant holes in the ground. We're not really sure, but we're glad they're here and know that rangers do not come out here every night and construct these for you. So we're going to enter the cave in just a little bit, and I'm going to give a little safety talk right when we get there. So as we enter the cave, there's a nice staircase, but when you get to the bottom, you have to walk on rocks. So please watch your step. Always look at the ground and watch your footing, okay? Let's go on in. Some of them move, don't they?
I'm sitting on top of like
All right, so pretty cool in here, right?
Yep.
Literally. This is the best part of the tour. We're all just going to sit here and soak up. We're just going to sit here and soak up some of the cool. And if you look up, we've got some pretty cool cave formations.
Whoa.
What type of collapse formed this skylight? And we've got some stalactites on our ceiling here. As the lava was moving through, it was at a higher level and would splash onto the ceiling and freeze and drop shapes. And that's our stalactites. Tights hang from ceiling, mites are on the ground. Why don't we have any stalagmites on the ground? The lava was here. We're standing on what was the river. It's basically like water freezing. We're standing on frozen lava. So there's no time for stalactites to be made. But enough about lava. Let's talk about life. What do we got going on in here life-wise?
Lichen.
Got some lichen, definitely. This orange stuff is all lichen. What's the white stuff?
Lichen?
It's not lichen. Is it alive?
No.
No. It is not alive. It's a mineral. It's a mineral that's formed way after these caves were formed. And it's a sodium sulfate mineral. So when you're going through the cave, in any cave, be careful not to touch the walls too much, because if you touch the orange stuff, which is the lichen, you might kill it. And if you touch the white stuff, which are the minerals, your hands are going to smell like rotten eggs. What else do we have for life in these caves? It may not be here right now. Let's think about it. Bats! Brilliant, young man. We have 11 species of bat in our park. And our favorite bat is the Townsend's big-eared bat. It has ears so big it actually helps it navigate and steer its way around as it flies. Now, we don't get a lot of bats in these caves. Anybody know why? It's your fault.
Too many people.
We're here. Bats don't like to hang out where we are. And we have dozens and dozens of caves that the normal population isn't allowed to go into, and they're protected. And that's where our bats tend to hang out. What other life do we have? We got some in here right now. I hear it. Birds. We get birds that use our caves. But we get one species of bird that is, and if you watch the skylights, there's one right now. Thank you for showing up right on schedule. That's a violet green swallow. And I have a bad habit of saying violent green swallow. They're a little territorial, so be careful not to tick off one because they'll swoop at you. But it is, in fact, violet green. And they're so agile. They swoop in and out of these caves at will, picking up all these wasps and moths and things in here. So we like them. So we've got lichen, we've got plants, we've got bats, we've got rodents. And one more big creature we're going to talk about up ahead. So everybody follow me, and this is the part where you will need a flashlight. Keep your flashlight aimed at the ground when we get into the dark because the floor is very difficult to walk on, and I've twisted an ankle and it does not feel good.
Go stand over there.
Lucas,
Quickly.
turn around and look. Hurry up, guys. Turn the headlamp off or take it off.
Different way. So I need a volunteer. Come on up. All right, stand over here. And where all that rubbly rock is, right where you're standing, back a little bit. There you go. Right where that rubbly rock is, where you were standing, I want you to pour a little bit of water in there, okay? Just enough to make a pool. All right, so go ahead. So while he's doing that, that's good enough. While he's doing that, oh, I said make a pool. Okay, so while he's doing that, that's enough. I don't want to waste all my water. I'm going to drink some of it. While he's doing, well, I said make. What's going on? Why is there no pool?
Soaking out in the rock.
If you kept pouring, would you make a pool?
No.
No, you wouldn't. Go ahead and sit down, pool. Go ahead and sit down, pool drainer. Where'd the water go?
In the rocks.
Into the rocks. Why?
They're very porous.
Now, technically, basalt is not porous. It's vesicular. It has vesicles in it where gas bubbles were. But it's not. That's not why water gets through it, because a lot of those vesicles aren't connected. And if they're not connected, water can't flow. But there sure are a lot of cracks in our rocks. So our rocks may not be porous, but they certainly are permeable. And that permeability allows the existence of the Snake River Plains aquifer, which is just underneath our feet. It's about the size of Lake Erie. It's a pretty big aquifer. And without it, we wouldn't have these amazing Idaho spuds that we're all so fond of. I know I am. Now, there's a problem, though, with our aquifer. Everybody in Snake River Plain uses it. I use it. Every farmer uses it to irrigate their crops. But where does that aquifer come from? From our bottle drainer pouring that into the water?
No.
Where does it come from?
Groundwater.
Where's the groundwater come from?
Sky.
Where?
Rain.
Is it raining now?
No.
Does it rain a lot in
Clouds.
Snake River
The mountains.
Plain? The mountains, right? We have a lot of mountains to the north of us. And what happens to mountains in the winter? Get a lot of snow. Did we get a lot of snow this winter? No. We got very little snow in the mountains this winter. And when you have no snow, that means no replenishment of that aquifer. And if you're not recharging the aquifer, then everybody is just draining it. And sure enough, our aquifer is depleting under our feet right now. So everybody that uses it for drinking and eating is in jeopardy. But through this talk and this walk, we've seen that, yes, there's a lot of blackness, and it's hot, and it doesn't look hospitable. But yet life finds a way here. In every nook and cranny, in historical times, and even today, life benefits from our cool cracks here at Crater. Now, this is a large group, so I'm sure it'll be divided. What you can do, and peanut gallery stay put until I'm done with my message. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Not you, Fenway, I trust you. What you can do is right where that flat rock is behind the camera. Hi, camera. You can scramble up over that collapse, and you'll duck back into the cave, and you'll go over one more collapse. And then you come up and out of the cave, and you just follow those sticks and bricks all the way back to the trail that we came from. It's not too hard of a hike. A little bit of scrambling. You will need your flashlight, but you get to see some really cool stalactites. And right as you come up to the surface, there's some holes you can crawl into and feel like a rodent if that's what you're into. If that doesn't sound like your bag, you can come back out the way we came with me. But the adventuresome and those who like to sweat can go that way. Those who don't can go that way. And feel free to browse any of the other caves on your way back. All right? Dismissed.
Ian,
Welcome. Great job. Great job.
get down and get her to sign this before she leaves.
Cave walk with KJ.
It says Cave Walk KJ.
See the bird nest?
Middle of nowhere.
Ian, look at me. I'm coming, bud.
I know, and the thing hurts. The burning hot rock hurts. I know.
All right, see. Wow. How far back did that go? Did you see the end of it, Sam?
I have my glasses and the water.
Sam, did you ever see the end of that cave? Oh, that's hot. Touch it in the shade.
Yeah, that's how we find our way back.
We're probably going to come back to some national parks around here, like Yellowstone and Grand Tetons. But I'm probably going to do Yellowstone for a week and then have a whole day to drive to Grand Tetons. And then after that, it's going to go to Grand Tetons and that stuff.
Well, you haven't seen half the parks we're going to go to.
For a week.
For a whole week?
And then probably maybe like, I don't know.
I'm probably gonna end up, when I'm older, I'm gonna end up coming out to Yellowstone for a bit, then going to Tetons, like camping, not just like for like a few days, not like what we did, just drive through it, and then come to Craters of the Moon.
Yeah.
Okay, Claire, put your bears up.
Hats that you can wear. Park Service hat or an astronaut helmet. The astronaut helmet's my favorite. Okay, we'll go over here. So raise your right hand and repeat after me.
Okay, Claire, let's go find Daddy.
As a lunar ranger, I promise to explore the earth in order to reach for the stars, to take care of craters of the moon and other special places, so they will always be here for me and others to enjoy. And I promise to listen to my parents. You have to do it. Congratulations. And there's your patch and your booklet. So thank you for doing the program.
Good job, Ian.